Hello again, Carleton Kelch here. Last time, you recall, we talked about the atomic attitude of mankind, which Democritus introduced, and others too. Remember, water, air, fire, earth? Oh yes. And with Democritus, atoms and void. Move that a little further in history to Aristotle, and we have the father there of science, according to Renan. And from then on came the big names in science after the medieval times, where things were a little low on that score. But now we're entering the other big heft in philosophy, and that's about thinking and man, how he associates, how he thinks, and how he feels. And that is big. Socrates, possibly the greatest thinker of all, just a humble man with a rumpled tunic that never seemed to change according to those who knew him, but a great mind who could discern words and clarify people's thinking for themselves. You know his famous statements, know thyself. Wow, you know, can answer that? You're the best. Also, the proper study of mankind is man himself. How true. What is more complex than our living unit, thinking and body? He also made the statement, the one thing only I know, and that is that I know nothing. Of course, he knew a lot, but he was honest enough to imply that there are things that evade him, and that's what left the future philosophers with a lot to deal with, and I am dealing with it right now in the book Thought and Matter. I started writing it about 10 years ago, and it's a continuation of many books. I'm in a high number right now, and I think I'll be writing until I can't write anymore, because you can't give answers to everything, and some things are way beyond us, and you gotta admit that, and I admit it. Thought and Matter had to figure out what it is that we're talking about, and it is the life impulse that we are alive and living and thinking. How did that come about? Why? And what are the properties that propel it? We know that in our history there was a time humans were not on the earth. Wow, that's a scary one. Where were we? And were we anywhere? So it's only a later thing that we're walking around. So there's so much to work on. What developed from those primitive men or animals we came from, that came from started in the ocean, went on land and kind of mastered it to the best of the body's ability, and it's an amazing achievement for sure. So our forefathers were just learning how to think and use thought, and they were awed by the immensity of life and couldn't explain it in any way, although they tried, and they seem to have missed often, but they made the attempt to think, and thinking is the center of man's ability. And we, in these segments, are going to look into it. We know that matter is there. It's outside of us, and it's part of our body, as will be explained in further thoughts on it. Thought by itself runs its own course, and it is a developing thing to our observation. Actually, it has a situation of its own that we will get into, and it follows what we're evolving into. Quite a story. I hope you start reading it. Now our promoter will mention the facts of the book.
Thought and Matter can be found on lulu.com, thoughtandmatter.com, as well as Barnes & Noble.
Thank you.